Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, just join me for a minute and imagine how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance, and I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can my friend Jeremy Funderburk, and he's here to share his unique and distinct journey to his life of significance. But before we bring him on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank him for being our guest star today. It's called it's called Powered by Passion and Purpose, and it goes like this. From boxing rings to business goals, Jeremy's passion relentlessly rolls. A leader, speaker, entrepreneur so bright, guiding teams with purpose and might, with sales insights that sharpen the game and strategies to optimize success and aim. Leadership diligence, tools he refines, inspiring change with new designs. Tune in right now. Don't miss this view on something significant. His intuition shines through. Jeremy inspires with vision so clear, his passion and purpose you need to hear. Hey, Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. That was amazing. Thank you so much. That's probably the best introduction ever.
Very good. Well, why don't you get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time. And it's really running a company right now called Double My Deals. And we just come in, I'm part company, do sales training, helping people develop what I think a recession proof skill set where they can always be in control of their income. And then for the people who are the entrepreneurs that started their business to have a life of freedom and not to be on sales calls every day, I come in, build out the teams, build the sales teams, manage the sales teams for them. So that way they can step back and instead of handling all the operational stuff in the sales side of the business, they can just live in their purpose.
Hmm, very good. And what about VA Fast? What is my VA Fast?
Yeah, so my VA Fast is a virtual assistant staffing agency. Don't dabble a lot with it, just for a few select clients that know me from that world. But yeah, just helping people build the teams. My whole thing is my brand is never work the 40.
Hmm.
And it's just living the never work the 40 mission, helping people build teams that way they can be full-time husbands, full-time parents, full-time wives, full-time moms, and not have to worry about spending all their time building a business.
What does never work the 40 mean? Does it mean not working for others? Or does it mean not working 40 hours? Or
Yeah.
what's the mission there?
So it relates to the 40-40-40 plan because I feel like there's somewhere 140 people don't like, where people work 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life and retire and only get 40% of their income.
Okay.
We're taking full control of our lives and our destiny.
Very good. Very good. All right, Jeremy, let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula. And you know it, it's a simple, but it's super powerful formula. It goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's
Mhm.
start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally? What do you do? In other words, Jeremy, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power you need to take excellent care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to believe personally that if I'm not building myself, I don't have anything to give to others, right?
That's true.
So obviously there's the physical part. I actually end up building a gym onto my house. So I have a full gym at the house. And
Cool.
then right after this, I'm actually going for a walk with my wife. And that's how we get our bonding time. We just
Yeah.
go for a walk for 30 minutes to an hour every day. So we're doing that. My prayer meditation time. This is my little war room right here where I got my Bible and everything. So I'm always like, first thing I'm getting up, I'm praying. I'm like,
Mm,
let me spend some time with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Let me read his word, let me pray to him. And other than that, I'm just reading and personal development.
yeah. All right. Very good. Well, let's discuss and see how this fits in with your training regimen that you just practiced or just told us about. This is my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it, Jeremy, because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening
Mhm.
life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And it creates an optimistic, gentle, but very powerful and continuous uplifting of my day, of my life, day after day after day. So, Jeremy, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Yeah, I always say the reason my clients come to me is because I've invested a decade and $162,000 in the personal development. So that way, instead of them spending the 10 years and the six figures, I've already done the work for them. Now they just get the feed off of me. So it's what it is. Every day, my aim is how do I become better for the people that I need to serve. So
Mhm.
personally, I read between 80 to 100 books every single year.
Mm,
So we always have that part, and then just obviously I have to go back to the word. I live in the word of God. It's
mm.
just it will help me and guide me in every interaction with every person. So that way I can always give them the best. And as I become better, I'm able to receive that word more and I can give more every single day.
So, as you're reading and as you're working with clients and as you're doing self improvement and you're reading, learning new things in the Bible, how does one thing build on another thing and build on another thing so that the person and the bag of gifts that you bring to each engagement continually grows?
Yeah, it all compounds. I started to realize there's no like singular, then like everything works together in
Hmm.
unity, which
Hmm.
which I love. So if I'm reading, let's say I'm reading Proverbs, and I read one thing about diligence and just my work ethic. Well, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Hmm.
So if I'm like, oh, I'm going to be more diligent in my work life, it automatically correlates over to I'm going to be more diligent in my relationship with my wife and even with my parents. And it
Yeah.
just spills over because how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah. And with all your book reading, your contemporary book reading, I wonder if you experience like I do, you're just finding over and over a different way of saying something that's already been said in the Word of God in the Bible.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. 'Cause I'm like, you didn't create this concept. I read that.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, let's move on to purpose. That's the second element of our happy formula. And I've observed that the big major life transformations, those great big changes or discovery of purpose, often comes from devastation, addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster. Something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how about you, Jeremy? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the God given purpose you were meant to live?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a couple of moments compound because I'm just not the brightest Brady in the bunch. So it was like things just I was like, hey, moron, we've been trying to show you this is what you need to do. I was like, oh, well, let me try this other thing. And then life's like, no, let me show you.
Hmm.
So as a kid, I remember being in the second grade and there was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do
Hmm.
you want to do for work? I was like, I don't want to have a job. I'm gonna start a business. Even as a little kid, I never want, but growing up, everybody just bashed me down. Like, no, you gotta have a job. You gotta have a job. So I ended up going that job route and I got abused and abused and abused, and it just wasn't good until I remember switching to a job and I told them, hey, I'm dating this girl seriously. I'm going to propose to her, plan on getting married. So I need to make more money. If you hire me, I'm going to be the hardest working employee that you got. And they took a chance on me and hired me. Right after I got hired, I proposed. So got engaged. And then they gave me my annual goal. And I hit my annual goal in 3 months.
Hmm.
And which was crazy because it happened right after I got married.
Hmm.
So my engagement was only 2 months and 9 days. So got married, hit my annual goal, came into work. They say, dude, you rocked it. Thanks for everything you've done for us. We don't need you anymore.
Hmm.
So now I'm newly married, unemployed, feeling like a
Hmm.
failure, just looked at my father-in-law and said, don't worry, I'll take care of your daughter. And now I don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized I just made $1 million for this company in 90 days. Jeremy, if you go out on your own and start your own business and step into your purpose that you've been avoiding this whole time, then you can at least make 6 figures working for yourself. And as I got the freedom, I was like, oh, I went through all of this so I can help other people avoid the hurt and the tragic story that I went through by empowering other people into entrepreneurship.
And how long was it after you were fired until you started making money?
20 months after that, I had a $250,000 company.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, thank you for that, Jeremy. Now let's take a quick commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Jeremy Funderburk. He's a dynamic entrepreneur, speaker, and co-founder of Double My Deals, helping businesses to achieve remarkable sales success. Jeremy inspires his clients to lead with enthusiasm, diligence, and authenticity, equipping them with practical tools for growth. A former boxer, his discipline and resilience powers his approach to leadership and life. Jeremy's passion, fresh perspectives, and relentless drive inspires and empowers others to conquer new challenges. Jeremy, I love that you do that. And I think you're going to love this article that I found. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says that the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on the planet. The science tells us that giving our time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering purpose, overcoming difficulties, and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So how about you, Jeremy? How has giving your time and talents and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties you've faced in life and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Giving is one of my wife's biggest passion. We love to give. And it's crazy, even in my sales training, like one of the fundamentals I teach people is the concept of give, give, give.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you give, the more you're going to receive. Not saying I give to receive, but and disclaimer, everyone listening, I am a Christian. I don't say these things to force my beliefs onto you guys, but it just literally my beliefs run everything about my life. And I really do believe that people will be living, what they're believing. So I believe in verses like Luke, 6:32, like give and shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Like I believe in that. And as I give financially, I always see it come back. When I give my time, you can't reap more time, but you reap more time. It's like, how? Like it's the same 24 hours in the day, but now all of a sudden, what used to take me 2 weeks to get done, everything just comes in place to get it done in a day. So if I have an opportunity, like my father-in-law needed me right before this. And he said, hey, what's your schedule like? Because I need to go get a door. I'm like, hey, I will come over right now, whatever I can do to serve you. Right. If it comes to giving financially, I believe I'm blessed to be a blessing. So let me give, and it just comes back because I personally believe you can't outgive God. Yep. But yeah, if I looked at our charitable giving, it's nice.
Well, you mentioned if you're giving to get something back, that's not really giving. That's buying something, or that's something very different, and that gets revealed in the process. But when you're giving, truly giving, it's kind of like it goes from the earthly realm to the supernatural realm. I'd like to have you talk about this. And in the earthly realm, if I have energy and I spend energy and I have $100 and I give $50 away, I've got to replace that $50. I got to replenish it because that money is finite. But if I give something spiritual, if I give my love to you, I've got 100% of my love and I give you 50% of it. You've just benefited from that. And when I look at my well of love, there's actually now more than 100%. And so the giving that is from the heart is spiritual, and it's infinite, versus giving that's transactional is earthly and it's finite. Talk about that difference.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. If I'm giving something to you just to receive something, that's just a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really believe in the laws of sowing and reaping. And yeah, I love your analogy with the love as well, because we can definitely give love. And I just truly believe God watches how we steward things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much like the parable of the talents, where the master, he gives to three guys, the three people, according to their to what they could with their current capacity they could handle. And I think that's a big piece, because it's all based off of our capacities.
Mm-hmm.
So side note to everybody listening, don't try to outgive what other people are doing, because you guys don't have the same capacity.
Right.
So as you're giving, but the person who didn't give anything, that didn't get a return, who didn't steward the talents, he was called wicked and lazy.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they were given more. Well, God just doesn't watch how we steward the money he gives us. He watches how we steward our time, how we steward our love, how we steward our relationships, how we steward our ideas. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to give these things, and I'm going to give in abundance. Otherwise, I'm misrepresenting my Father in heaven, whose image I was created in.
Yeah. So the Bible tells us how giving works, and science confirms that giving to others helps bring real meaning to our lives. Mm-hmm. And the joy we feel from the fourth element of significance, which we call doing work that creates value for others, that confirms it. When you're giving to others, you feel a joy, but there's something more to it than just the giving, Jeremy. And I believe that the real magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose, because it creates profound joy, not just to those who are receiving the gift, but also for the giver too, because that whole process comes from God, as you've been talking about. So now, Jeremy, the audience and I would like to know how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So just sit back, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of giving from living in your purpose. One person said, Jeremy is a genuine person who operates from his core values. Another said, Jeremy's talk was a game changer for our sales team. We saw immediate improvements in our closing rates. Another said he has studied and mastered his gift and does it with a high level of integrity. One more said, he's got a bright smile and exudes a confidence and a warmth that'll make you feel like you can do anything. Others said he was a boxer and a trainer. He's exceptional, energetic, passionate, contagious, motivational, authentic, transparent, wonderful, positive, honest, hardworking, and always reliable. Our leadership team left inspired and ready to take on new challenges. He always puts others first and is willing to help when others would simply pass by without giving a second look. I'm going to take what he told me today through the rest of my life. And finally, this person said, simply, one of the most powerful speakers I've heard in a long time. So, Jeremy, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing. It makes it feel like, man, what I'm actually doing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it.
Well, and that's what happens when you're living an authentic life. My young daughter is a great artist, and she'll sit and just and do it. I said, gosh, Sydney, that's amazing. Oh, it's nothing. It was nothing. No, it was nothing to her because she's just being her. And when you're in that authentic self, um, you don't realize the impact that you're making on others. And so that's what this show is all about. It's we're here to encourage our listeners to find that magic in their lives. It's available for all of us. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle.
Hmm.
Giving your time, talents, and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose. And
Mhm.
then giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life, but also to the lives of those around you.
Mhm.
So it seems that giving leads to purpose and giving from purpose leads to joy. So, Jeremy, to capture the full exponential power of our happy formula, I've got to tweak it just a tiny bit more to power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
That's 100% right to me. 100%.
Very good. All right, my friend, let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm
Mhm.
going to read a few of my favorites and ask you to tell us what they mean to you. Give us the first thing that pops into your mind, Jeremy, because we call this a lightning round. Here's the first one from Zig Ziglar. He says, "Hope is born when you understand this. You have the power to make things better or worse, and the choice is yours."
Yep. In other words, all your success comes up to you, no excuses.
Yeah, yeah. Success or failure comes to you,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and
That part.
the choice is yours. Yeah. This is from Lao Tzu. He said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step."
Yep. First thing comes to mind is play the long game. Stop looking for delayed gratification. Stop looking for this microwave mentality of immediate results. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's it's a single step at a time, but the
Yeah,
1,000-mile journey is always going to be worth it.
yeah. And counter to that too is talk about taking that first step. A lot of people think and just wait around. They don't think they're ready to take the step. But even though
Mhm.
the first step is a long ways from the end, it's still super important, right?
And I think most people think that first step is near the end. So that
Yeah,
step looks so long that they're
yeah,
intimidated to take it.
yeah.
Like, no, just take this step. Like,
Take it.
I'll know what time looks like. But I remember going to the Whitewater Center and they got like the 100-foot drop,
Yeah,
and you're at the edge, and they're like, I'm gonna count down from 3. And after I say 1, step over the edge. And they're like 3, 2, 1. And then that one little tiny 3-inch step felt like the hardest step of my life.
hmm
And I think that's how it is for a lot of people, their goals, their dreams, and their purpose.
hmm And I think over time, you should be seeing this through your clients too. Over time, you learn that, oh, I remember, this is what I think is so fascinating. I remember that first step that I took at the Whitewater Center and how hard that was. Well, now that's no different than this big first step that we need to take at this company.
Mhm.
Although a lot of you might feel some of that same anxiety, but you've learned from the past experience. And so there's
Mhm.
less anxiety there, and you can encourage others to take that. And over time, you start to build the collective intelligence of this marketplace of ideas that you've learned from your reading, from your clients, from failure, from success, and now you can come to the next engagement that much further along.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
All right, this is from Viktor Frankl. He said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves."
Mhm. Yeah. Coming from a guy that was in a concentration camp who was probably the king of a positive mental attitude.
Oh man.
And yeah, it's because we're not subject by our circumstances. And as a Christian, I believe we weren't called to live underneath the circumstances. We were called to live above the circumstances.
Mm.
So, however we triumph in life is all in the mind. So, yeah, once you develop that mental resiliency, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm just walking around like, I got the joy of the Lord. No
Yeah.
weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Yes, sir. All right, this is from Marianne Williamson. She said, "Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our
Mhm.
deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure."
Yep. And I remember when I first heard that quote, and it's like a lightning bolt just hit me because I was like, yeah, because I personally didn't have a fear of failure. I had a fear of success because I knew I could cold call, I could build $1 million business in 90 days. I was like, Jeremy, you don't know how to handle the fulfillment. You don't have the team that can cover all this stuff. You don't have all this. What if they complain? What if they charge back? What if you mess up something on legal compliance? And I was so scared to succeed because I was like, I have a skill set that's grown beyond my character and capacity. So yeah, it's not that we're inadequate. It's
Yeah, very good. This is from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do."
Yep. Everybody that we're going to touch and supposed to touch was preordained before we were born. So as soon as I stepped on the scene, whoever I was called to affect, whoever needs to be affected, God's will is going to be done. I actually talked about this on my Instagram live last night. It's just, am I going to step in my purpose and, go and serve the people I was called to serve? Or will it be like Saul and David? And will I kind of start to drift and have to be replaced by somebody else? Because if you won't do it, God will find someone else to do it. His will be done.
Yeah, very good. This is our show anchor. It's from Goth, and he said, "Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now."
I love it. The Bible says to come boldly to the throne. So yeah, I'm stepping up to the plate. Everything I do, complete confidence. And I encourage all the listeners to do that. Because one of my mentors, he talked about when he first got into entrepreneurship, and he had a fruit truck. Like, he's selling fruit for $1. And then this guy came up to him. He's like, "Hey, I know you've been working hard. I just opened this gym. You got a cleaning company, right?" He said, "Yeah, I got a cleaning company." "Oh yeah, can you clean my gym?" "Man, we do that all the time." He said, "I ain't never cleaned nothing in my life." But when you come boldly, the opportunities just open up for you. So I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's Richard Branson said something along the lines is, if you get offered an opportunity, say yes, and then figure out how to do it.
Yep. Now I've lived by that motto.
Yeah. Very good, Jeremy. Thank you for that. And now, folks, it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show at Jeremy Funderburk, please share a little love with our wonderful broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Jeremy, I love your passion for helping others reach their full human potential, and I admire your resilience, creativity, and the way you lead with authenticity and purpose. And I'm super happy that you've shared your dynamic, empowering, entrepreneurial spirit on our show today. Will you please take a minute or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, thank you for the time. It's been a real blessing. I love you. I love your energy, and I love what you're doing. I love your mission. And to everyone listening, I just want to encourage you to just really focus on, it's really hard for me to say, because I want to say being your best, but because I truly believe everything is be, do, have. If you don't be, you can't do. If you can't do, you won't have. If you be a little, you'll do a little. If you do a little, you'll have a little. If you be a lot, you'll do a lot. And if you do a lot, you'll have a lot. And it all comes from the Bible for me. The first thing God ever told man in Genesis 1:28 was, "Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, to do it, and have dominion." That's be, do, have. Be fruitful and multiply. The implied helping verb is do, like multiplication is something that you do. Like, do multiply, do replenish, do subdue, and then you have dominion. That was the ultimate formula God gave us. And the whole message behind it is, you have these desires, these things you want. I don't care if it's a mansion, it's a God-given desire. And people are like, "Well, why would God give me a desire for a mansion? He doesn't care about the mansion." Yeah, he doesn't care about the mansion. But as people, we'll naturally do whatever it takes to have the things we want. And then we bump our heads and we stub our toes on our inability to do it until we do the one thing God wants us to do more than anything else. And that's to become the person that he created us to be. So that way we can do everything he called us to do. And then you'll have everything that God intended for you to have. So I just encourage everyone listening to just focus on being you. And personal development isn't you becoming a better person. Every book I read is just reminding me who I am.
Yeah.
You're already enough.
Yep. And you said you started off saying be your best, and then you kind of said, well, wait a minute, but it's being your full authentic self. You can't, if you get there, you are always your best, and your best is not hard for you, and your best doesn't look like somebody else thinks it should look. And that's where we get tripped up. Say, well, Jeremy said I should be my best, and when I want to do this, I don't think he thinks that's my best. Well, who cares what Jeremy thinks? It's what are you, if you're really being honest with yourself, and you want to go and you want to live out in the wilderness and you want to make poetry and paint pine cones, and that is really what you feel is your purpose on this earth, and you figure out a way that you can take care of yourself and your loved ones and still be a giver to others because you're giving pine cones to raise charity for poor people in Africa, but your dentist dad and your dentist grandparents say, no, 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 Matt, you're supposed to be a dentist. I can struggle through my life trying to be a dentist, or I can go and paint pine cones in the wilderness. And that's, as soon as I let myself be myself, as you say, all of a sudden, then my life starts to make sense.
Everything makes sense. And yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention earlier, because naturally being in sales and business coaching, I talk a lot about finances and money. Just because you're not making as much money as somebody else doesn't mean that that person's any better than you. Like,
Correct.
0% of my self-image and my self-worth comes from money. Your net worth and your self-worth are two different things. Not everybody was like, I don't feel I was called to be a billionaire. I don't even have the slightest desire to be a billionaire. And if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be a billionaire for long because I'll just give most of the money away. I'd be a billionaire for 8 minutes. So guys, just whatever's authentically you, whatever's truly you, whatever God put in your heart, be you.
Yeah.
And just commit to it.
Yeah, that's it. And one last thing on money, because that gets people tripped up too. And I prefer to think of it more as currency. So just a simple example. If you live in a high-rise building in New York City, you need more money just to get to work and to take care of your family and to do the basics, as compared to living in, let's say, a backwoods old cabin that your grandparents built out in Arkansas. And the costs of just living are dramatically different. And if I go from Arkansas to a place where there's no money out in the true wilderness, I don't need dollar bills for currency, but I need currency. I need to know how to fish and hunt and do things to get the same stuff, shelter and food. And so we get tripped up on dollar amounts, and people always tell me, oh, I don't want money. Money is evil. No, money's not any more evil than a fishing rod. And you can do good with it and you can do bad with it. But I think the key thing is what you said. You got to figure out, what do you desire? And if you desire to live in Manhattan in a skyrise, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you desire to live in a cabin in Arkansas, there's nothing wrong with that either. In both cases, you need the currency to create the power you need to take care of yourself and your loved ones and be a giver to others. And if you can do that, you're going to be a happy person.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Very well put.
Very good. Very good. All right. Thank you, Jeremy. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Jeremy and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Jeremy Funderburk. Find him, friend him. Jeremy's transformed countless teams and leaders with his impactful presentations. So book him for your next event, your company event or conference. You'll find all the links in our show notes. And finally, from me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and click Unlock Here to unlock the life you are meant to live, one of purpose and joy and significance. And as you unlock your truth and your formula and your roadmap and your inspired life, please give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.